welcome. We'd like to invite everybody to McClelland Elementary, Mrs. Gilbert's second grade class, working and joining us for our lesson today on erosion.
Good job.
Hey, thanks for that introduction. So today's lesson is erosion. Now erosion is cool. Everybody say erosion.
Erosion.
Erosion is a natural process, right? Yeah, that means nature. It happens all the time. So before we talk much about erosion, you know, I saw this kid and we went on this trip up in the mountains, right? And it was in the Rocky Mountains. I took some students there and we saw these really cool layers of rock. And this rock had like stripes on it with little speckles in it. And it was a really sharp rock. And it was up on top of the mountain. We saw that when we were up there. And I said, oh, look at that cool rock. It's got like stripes in it and speckles in it. And it was all jagged. 2 days later, we came down and we were over here in a park. All these trees were by, and there was a stream by it. And the little kid that was with me said, Mr. Crosslin, look, in the stream was a round rock, and they had those same stripes and those same spots. How did the rock from here get down to here? Any ideas? What do you think?
It rolled down.
It rolled down by gravity, pulled it down. Gravity is that force, like when you let go. 1, 2, 3. Gravity pulls things down, doesn't it? It always works. And so if there was a rock up here, it would be rolling down. But there was, we found it though in a stream. How did it get down here in the stream? So how do you think? You mean it went underground? Nope. But you're onto it. It was rolling, but what made it come down the hill? Yes?
The wind.
Oh, the wind. Wind can make erosion. When wind blows, sometimes we'll see an example of wind usually blows small things. This is a big rock. But wind will cause erosion. What else do you think could be? What?
Rain.
Rain or water. In fact, we found this water. We found a stream right here, and the water, it had rained, but there was something else up on top of this mountain I forgot to tell you about. What
Ice.
else? There was ice. There was ice, there was some wind, big chunks of ice and snow, and water. And that's what are the agents of erosion. This rock up here ends up down here. Up here it's all jagged and sharp, but by the time it got down here, it was rounded. I wonder what caused it to get round. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
The spikes broke off?
How did the spikes break off?
It hit probably other rocks?
You must be a scientist. He said it hit other rocks. Every time it hits another rock, a piece breaks off, and then you got little ones going. And pretty soon there's all these little ones going, and they like to hit each other, and guess what shape they end up?
Circle.
Circle around. So rocks up here that are jagged end up down here, rounded by erosion. And I don't usually tell kids this, but would you like to know the name for rocks that get broken down? What's it called? You promise you won't tell anybody I told you?
Yes.
And you'll say it when I say it.
Yeah.
Weathering.
Weathering.
Weathering. When a rock, which is sharp and breaks down and makes round, that's called weathering. It happens all the time. So you get sharp rocks up here and round rocks here. So erosion by ice, wind, and water happens all the time. But here's one more thing. Up here, it gets taken away. You know the takeaway sign for minus, right?
Yes.
We call that erode. And all that stuff ends up down here. So see the plus sign? See the plus sign?
Yep.
You get it? Take away from here, plus here. And we call this deposit. Got it?
Yep. Deposit. Looks like a math thing.
It looks like a math thing, and that's what nature says. Take away from here, give it here. Here's what happens in my house all the time. There's no erosion inside of my house, but there's erosion inside my wallet.
What? No.
No, wait, let me explain.
Something.
I deposit money in my wallet.
Ooh.
I lay my wallet on the counter. My daughter comes home from college. She erodes the money out of my wallet. She deposits in her purse and goes shopping.
Do you get more money?
I have to go make more money. I deposit it in my wallet. She comes, ding, 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 ding,
Do
ding.
you hide it?
No, I don't hide it. But she erodes it, and then you know what she does?
What?
She takes it to Target and deposits it in Target and takes home clothes. You understand? Oh, yeah. No, you know, I don't mind doing that because she asked me, but I wanted to show you, that's like taking something from here and depositing there, okay? All right, so let's take a closer look at some examples of erosion. So here is one of the websites in our lesson. What I like about this erosion, it talks about it's a process that breaks things down. And there's that word called weathering I was telling you about. For example, check this out. These are mountains that used to be filled up right here in this whole area. But something cut through there. Guess what cut through there? Ice, giant glaciers cut through there and made a valley. In fact, this is one of my favorite places. Check this out. This is the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon was formed by rocks eroding away. I mean, in fact, let me show you some better pictures of the Grand Canyon. Wait till you see these. I'll tell you, I've taken students there before. The Grand Canyon, it should be not called, I don't think it should be called the Grand Canyon. I think it should be called the Grand Erosion. Look at these layers of rocks and look how they have been eroded away. In fact, check this out. This is one of my favorite ones. Here, the rocks were kind of, the river water went right around this pinnacle here and has left this right here so you can see it. Here's another picture of it. Isn't that cool how it weathered away and eroded away? Now somewhere we can find all of that soil and rocks that was taken away by water or ice. It lands up somewhere else. It's pretty cool stuff if you ask me. Check this out. Let's look at one more. When all of that is taken away, sometimes it ends up in what a flat area that we call a wetlands or a delta. It goes somewhere and usually makes a thing called a meadow or a delta. But I love this. This is up in Alaska. Check this out. What they did was they put a camera here and see if you can see examples of beach erosion. Look at that's every light is a different day. There's the water and ice coming by. Do you see any erosion, anything moving?
Yeah, water.
Watch carefully. You see? Looks the same. No, I see some changes.
Down, right there. Oh, disappearing.
What's disappearing?
And it's adding back.
Oh,
Right there.
did you see that?
Yeah, they're falling.
And that is being eroded away.
Oh.
Now watch what happens to the water. It's going to turn brown from all the sediment. See the water turning brown there?
Yeah.
So we have erosion happening all the time. Look what people did. They put those giant hard boulders there. Why do you think they put those boulders there? What's it going to protect, you think?
The houses?
It will, but I'm going to tell you, you can't stop nature. No matter how many boulders, here comes some more. And look at the water down below, it's brown. You just can't stop erosion. You can protect it a little bit, but not too much. So a sinkhole is when water underneath the ground makes a hole and things start to fall through. Now watch what happens to the water. It's going to turn brown from all the sediment. See the water turning brown there?
Yeah.
So we have erosion happening all the time. Look what people did. They put those giant hard boulders there. Why do you think they put those boulders there? What's it going to protect, you think?
The houses?
It will, but I'm going to tell you, you can't stop nature. No matter how many boulders, here comes some more. And look at the water down below, it's brown. You just can't stop erosion. You can protect it a little bit, but not too much. So a sinkhole is when water underneath the ground makes a hole and things start to fall through. And this one, you can see right here where it looks like the cars have stopped. Oh no. I think I would get out of the way. And here's one that's starting to happen right here. The police see it. There's a sinkhole starting. We don't have to worry about those. He's putting some cones there because it's starting to sink.
How does it melt
It doesn't melt it. The water underneath it washes it away.
That was a big one.
This sinkhole is underneath a lake. And that water is making it even going further. This is one of my favorite ones. This sinkhole was in a museum for Corvettes. It happened at night. Erosion washed away underneath the building, and look, the cars fell. Yeah, those are brand new, fancy cars.
Well, I was jumping that.
And so
Jumping that hole.
these are sinkholes, and they happen lots of places around the world. We talked about how wind can also do erosion. So in Arizona, there was a giant windstorm that came, and it actually blew up. Here it comes. See it on the right, all the dust coming?
Yeah.
All that is dust, erosion blown into the sky. And as long as the wind's blowing, it's coming. And what happens when the wind stops? All that dust falls down. And that's what it looks like. So it covers everything. And everything, including buildings. And this is all of the erosion and debris. Those are not sticks. Those are actually trees that are coming right down the dry riverbed. So if you live out west, it could rain up in the mountains, and you can't stop that. That erosion is depositing all of that stuff further down. Now, I want to show you it's in the desert, so the water soaks up, but all of the sticks get flying right down the dry riverbed. Check this out. What I call a not smart person. This lady and this man are, you're not very smart. Neither are you. They're in the creek bed waiting to see when the flash flood is coming. And guess what? Here it comes. Now, luckily, they make it out safe, but not a smart thing to do. Check this out. Here it comes. You better move, because this will hurt you and your car. In fact, it is so big. Here they go. I know, right?
They running too slow.
That one girl is running, and yep, you better go.
Run, girl, run.
Yeah,
Run, girl.
yeah.
Girl.
Not very smart, because here it comes. If she fell, it would really hurt her bad. In fact, maybe you saw that movie Jungle Book, where
Yeah. Run. What are you doing?
that's something. Look how fast the water's behind it going. In fact, there's actually really fast. And look at this rock from the mountain I was telling you about. That rock is bigger than a car, and it's being tumbled right down. So there's one more thing I'd like to show you, and this has to do with glaciers. When it's called calving. It's when a giant chunk of ice from a glacier hits the ocean and falls off. And so this is another type of erosion. The glacier comes down, is cutting the valley. You can see where the glaciers are there in Alaska. And they make icebergs. Those are giant chunks of ice. Some of those are bigger than our entire school.
Oh, that's because that's the cave.
That's the glacier, and it's getting ready to fall into the ocean piece by piece. And it is very cold, and once they crash in,
Do they turn into ice?
they turn into icebergs.
That looks like a cave. If someone was on the boat in that hole,
Yeah, that's why the boats cannot be that close.
it's a shark. What the?
And those are giant chunks of ice coming. Yeah, that's not too good. Look at this one here. Look at that piece right there. Okay, are you guys ready for the activity? Now you have on your table some sand and 2 trays. I want you to take that sand, and I want you to pile it up at the very top across the front and make like a little mountain. Can I show you like this? Yeah. Take it and put it along the top, like right there.
She got
by the tape, and do it at the top and shape a mountain. Go ahead.
This?
Yeah. Shape a mountain. All the way across. Very good. You might want to put yours all the way across. There you go. Oh, nice.
I put caves.
Oh, you're going to put caves? Okay. Make it smooth across there.
No, look,
Ready? Okay, the first thing we're going to add is I have some glaciers in my hand. Well, actually, they're chunks of ice. But we're making a model of this. And so I want to give you some ice. I'll put it on your tray. I want you to put those up in the corner. Put them in the top corner of your mountain. Got it? All right, go ahead. So I see you got your ice on top of your mountain. That's your glaciers. And what's the ice going to do?
It's gonna melt.
It's going to melt. And when it melts, that water is going to
Wash the sand away.
wash the sand away. What do we call that process when the sand washes away?
Erosion.
Erosion.
Oh, I still
Cool.
have something stuck up.
So now we're going to pass out the water because erosion can be with ice, wind, or water. So here comes the water. Up your pipette, and if you squeeze the end of it, you'll notice that air shoots out. I saw you doing experiments up your nose earlier. Yes, I did. I saw you. Don't deny it.
I didn't.
Show us what you're doing. Oh, now you're not going to do it. Okay. So squeeze the bulb part of it, and air will come out. Now, unsqueeze it. Stick it down in your water cup. While it's underwater, squeeze it. Let go of it underwater, and water will come up. Now squirt it back in your cup and see if it works. Okay, practice a couple times. All right, ready? So I'm here at Kendall's desk, and let's see here. Kendall, he made a cave, and we're going to see if we can make a sinkhole. If I just keep putting the water in one spot, it makes a sinkhole. Watch this. Here we go. See the sinkhole? You can see it right there?
Can I do it?
Yes, you try it. And put it in one hole and see how it does. Nice. There's a sinkhole. Add some more to it, Kendall, and see what happens. Add a lot to it and see what happens. Oh, look, we're starting to get some erosion. Add one more drop there.
A drop.
Move your hand. There you go. Put a lot. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to add some more to it. What do you see happening?
It's moving. Erosion.
Erosion. It's moving on down. All right, you guys go ahead and try it.
That's tight.
We should see. Try it at different spots. So this is a model of erosion. It's not exactly like erosion. Try some right about there and see what happens. A little more. Oh, nice sinkhole. Watch out for a flash flood.
It's coming to you, people.
Oh, there goes a flash flood. One more drop.
Mine does not. Let go. Let go.
Ah, there goes the flash flood right down the mountain.
This is awesome.
Show me. Oh, there goes. That's a blowout right there. Blew the whole mountain out. Wow, you got a huge delta forming. Yeah. Here we go. Here comes the ice melting. Oh no, it's an avalanche and a flash flood. Hey, when the water gets at the bottom, what color is the water?
When I put the
What color is the water at the bottom? Brown. What made it brown?
the ice.
No. The sediment. The sediment. You can scoop it up from the bottom, or scoop it up from here and put it back up there with your pipette. With your pipette.
You gotta push all the air out. When you squeeze it, you push it out.
Nice.
Now you want to push hard. That's the key. Oh, the ice fell off.
What happened? You had
Ice fell off.
that glacier went flying down the mountain, causing a
My big
valley.
ice fell off.
And yours did too? Wow. Usually ice was really slow. I love, look at all these different streaks of sediments and erosion you got going down here. And what color is the water at the bottom? Brown from all the sediments.
I need your help. What can cause erosion? That's right. And it was kind of fun to create the erosion ourselves, wasn't it?
Yep.
So nice job. Won't you give yourself and Mr. Crosslin a round of applause?